how do you draw a balance between the blessedness of God and not going into extreme prosperity and being content? How do you draw the balance?
I think when you look at the laws, when you talk about the blessing of God, in the same context, God is speaking about the blessing is meant to share. The blessing is to take care of the poor, the orphans, the widows among you. God said, see that there is no poor among you. And therefore, when you talk about the balance, whatever that you receive, first you have to recognize you receive this from God. Anything that is beyond your need,
Share.
To be distributed. It is not to be hoarded. And therefore, you see that you will not become greedy. Only a greedy person will hoard. You won't give it to anybody. That is not God's blessing. God's blessing is to receive, to give, and that is where you have the peace and the pleasure of giving. So the laws, as you look at it, you'll find there is a connection between what God gives you and how God expects you to distribute this to others, the sharing of your blessing. God definitely blesses. And you have to see, not only in the Bible, but in the history, God's people, faithful people, not only some of them sometimes lived in prosperity, there were also people who suffer terribly to death, martyred. And therefore, when you talk about, a kind of a seed money where you will get more, it tests your motive. Why do you give to God? You don't give to God because you want to receive something. You give to God because God gave you. That is the first fruit. You bring it to Him. Acknowledge, I'm an alien. You brought me. You put me here. You gave me all this. And this is in thanksgiving. I thank you because I don't have to run around without food. You gave me something to live and enjoy. And therefore, this is on the business lines. People try to kind of, I would say, deceive the people to give. But giving, the motive should be right. Motive is to give to God because you have received from God. Not expecting some kind of a reward from God, you give to God.